Dominating your fantasy league? Prove it.
Shaping up to be a great game between these two teams. There's no telling what might happen.
Enhance the game with 3 easy steps. Predict, compete, and win. Start now and play your first $20 risk-free. Only on WINVIEW.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are live for another edition of the AFC East Roundtable. On your way in, make sure you hit the like button now. I hadn't been live in 2 days, so you know the notifications are not being sent out. So do your part, punch that like button, force YouTube to let everybody know that we are live, because this is going to be a real good one tonight. Because I got to be honest with y'all, this is truth-telling night. This is truth-telling night. And you know what? I'm just going to say it. Buffalo Bills fans, put your seatbelt on, because I am going to tell the truth about your team. And if you miss tonight, you're probably never, ever going to get this again in your life, okay? So this is true. Don't be getting all excited, Dan. Yeah, I told you I ain't got time for your crap
tonight, I feel like I'm more excited than the fans right now.
Oh, my God. Man.
Yo, and TD, you can hold the truth away from the Jets. You don't need to tell me the truth about it, okay? Just tell them the truth.
It's truth night, Richie. You're going to get it, okay?
So TD's going to be like, all right, y'all. And Josh Allen ain't trash. He's out.
Well, we're definitely going to talk about it, all right? We're going to talk about it. Tyson is here. He's just taking care of some stuff, so I'm sure he'll pop right back in just a moment. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, the AFC East has completed week 5 of football. And things went the way they went. The Buffalo Bills come off of a strong win versus the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that they've struggled with for quite some time. We're going to get into that. Richie played somebody in London, but did it really matter? We're going to get into some of that. The Dolphins continue to disappoint, but everybody expected the outcome, except me, of course. And master that works. And the New England Patriots, they squeezed the tough one out late in a game for Mac Jones' first comeback victory. We're going to talk about all of these and so much more, but make sure that you hit the like button. We already got 160 people watching, but only 53 likes. Do your part by punching the like button, letting everybody know that we are live right now. But we want to start out with the head of the AFC East, and I must bow down and give props where props is due. The New York Jets.
Oh, my God. Listen, I knew.
He knows the future, baby.
I knew it was too good to be true, man.
I'm dyslexic, man. I'm dyslexic. We're going to actually start out with the bottom of the bottom. So that means we're going to start out with the Miami Dolphins, okay? You see how I did that, Richie? You see how I did that? I gave you credit, Richie, because you actually beat a team that probably going to make the playoffs, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead and get it out the way while we wait on Tyson. The Miami Dolphins are struggling right now, and I honestly have to be quite upfront with you all. A lot of people are ragging on our defense, but I think our defense is just fine. They're going to get right back to playing winning football starting this week. That's not the issue. The issue has always and continues to be the offense for the Miami Dolphins. And to be quite honest with you, we actually didn't even have a terrible offensive game, but all in all, it still wasn't enough to get the job done. I kind of feel like, to all the Dolphin fans and everybody who aren't Dolphin fans, this could be a blessing in disguise. There's only 2 things that can happen for the Miami Dolphins at this point. Number 1, we can continue to play like trash and be sloppy, lose the season. There's going to be some firings at the end of the season because we don't even have our own draft pick for the first round since we traded it away for the San Francisco's, hoping that they lose games. So we could either continue to play bad or we could get the biggest blessing of all time. And that's Tua Tagovailoa showing everyone why he should be a franchise quarterback. If Tua Tagovailoa is able to come out and put together one performance after another of great execution and leading this team to victories, and I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen, even though we need to make the playoffs, if we just come short of it and we just like last year in the last game when Buffalo destroyed us, I would say that would be a success enough for Tua Tagovailoa for me to have enough confidence for us to go into year 3 to see where this goes. And that's what it comes down to. Will Tua not help this team and we bomb it? Or will he elevate the play of this team going forward to a point to where we actually are playoff contenders at the end of the season, whether we make it or not, which we all want to? And I believe that is where we are with this franchise. If that doesn't happen and we underwhelm 6, 7, 8, 9 wins, then we have to make major changes, starting with the quarterback position, as well as many others in the organization. That's where we stand right now. We got our behinds kicked by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are the Super Bowl winning champs. That is, we don't take that lightly. And we aren't playing good at this time. I actually thought I saw a better showing from us in the first half of the game. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because we took an L at the end of the day. I had the Miami Dolphins at the bottom of the AFC East under the New York Jets. But, Richie, to be quite honest, it won't last for long, all right?
First off, TD, I do need to talk about your Tua point because I feel like this is something I think Dolphins fans might appreciate if they're feeling bad about your quarterback. Has he even started a full NFL season? Like, has he started 16 games yet?
No, I mean, this is year 2, and no, that he hasn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel honestly.
Well, let's take it a step further. He first off, he didn't win the starting job his rookie year. Yeah. And then after he
got pulled out a bunch of times.
Yeah. Then after we were destroying the Jets, he had his debut for the last 3 plays of a game. Yeah. And then they gave him the starting nod, which some people scratched their head like, why? Then we had inconsistencies, great games like Arizona and New England, but terrible games like the Raiders and the Broncos. And also 2 or 3 games he got pulled out in the 3rd or the 4th quarter because the play just wasn't good enough. Yeah. And then we come into year 2 and we only get 1 game, which was very methodical. He almost lost us the game throwing a pick with a few minutes left in the 4th quarter. Luckily, Xavier Howard punched out a fumble as the Patriots were already in field goal range to win it with time running out, but we punched it out to get a fumble to win that game. And then he's been hurt again and haven't seen him since, and we're hoping he'll play in London. They haven't taken him off IR yet, but he did practice today. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. So that's where we are with him.
As well, I mean, I just saw in the comment section saying that he's only played 11 full games. And I mean, honestly, when I look at this quarterback, I think the Dolphins would make a huge mistake if they don't get what they want out of him. They're just going to cut him, right? I mean, this kid's still very raw, very, very raw. I mean, granted, he started 11 damn games. I feel like letting him go after this season, even if, he stays consistent with the way that he's been playing, would be a mistake. I mean, I know that this is an anomaly with Josh Allen, right? I mean, his first 16 games. No, actually, I challenge a lot of you guys to go look at Josh Allen's stats his first 11 games in the NFL, starting.
Well, let me ask you,
I've been doing that, Dan.
You know better than me.
I said, no, I've been doing that.
I bet you have to justify your quarterback. But let me ask you, because you know better than anyone, Dan. Yeah. You know better than anyone. Let's put stats aside, bro. Josh Allen's first 2 seasons, we all know wasn't glorious. I mean, he discovered his legs in the second season, and that's what made him even, okay. But what intangibles did you see from him, at least in the first year, that said clutch moment? Yep.
A lot of clutch moments. That's why, like, when so many outsiders were saying, oh, he's terrible. Like, what kept me excited was just his ability to come up big when we needed him. Right.
The most. So it was struggle play, but clutch.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why when you say things like we would be making a huge mistakes, I argue that with Dolphin fans, because don't you need to see something?
Yeah, I agree. And so, you have one redeeming factor, Yeah,
you barely seen Tua. I feel like you got to give him some opportunities, at least 16 games before you throw him to the curb, in my opinion.
Well, by the end of this season, it'll be more than 16. So
yeah, I know. This is going to be, I think this is a really big test for him. I think that injury helped him out.
But that's why I said this can be a blessing or a curse. If he comes and shows us that he can be the guy, it's worth moving on from, even if we miss the playoffs, but we're in contention in the last week of the season. That's, to me, it shows grit, taking his team from the bottom and elevating it. That's just my take on it. All right.
Yeah.
But that's where we are with the Dolphins game. I wanted to go to you, Richie. If you could tell us your thoughts about the Jets right now, the state of the Jets. And what do you think going forward?
Yeah, so right now we're heading into the bye week. We're 1-4. You guys heard me last week. Going into that game in London, it was a game where Jets fans were expecting, to be competitive and win, because it was the first time all year where we had confidence coming off, defeating a playoff team in the Tennessee Titans. Nobody thought, even Jets fans didn't think we had a chance against that Tennessee Titans team. And we go out there in London. The offense has been the issue all year, but you got to, hold the defense accountable as well. It's definitely their worst performance so far this season. Matt Ryan was just absolutely dissecting that zone defense, and he understands that the front four is going to get to him, and Matt Ryan got rid of the ball within 2 seconds, so our pass rush could not get to him at all. And little fun fact, Matt Ryan, our defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, was a defensive coordinator over at Atlanta for the past couple of years. So Matt Ryan knows our defense better than anybody else, and a veteran savvy quarterback that he was absolutely just took advantage of that. I like the grit that we showed. I like the grit that the Jets showed to really come back in the fourth quarter. They made it a game, but all in all, Zach Wilson just really struggled in this game. He is, missing those easy throws. He's missing the layups. It's kind of interesting what Zach Wilson has showed me so far as a rookie. I just made a whole video dissecting what he needs to improve on as a rookie quarterback. I feel like his development right now is backwards in terms of like he has the explosive deep throw, ridiculous like arm talent there, but he's struggling with the easy stuff that like normal quarterback should make without even question. So that the elite stuff in terms of that, off platform, like we saw against the Titans, we know that's there, but he's overcomplicating things in the pocket. His mechanics is a little off. He's rushing his throws. His footwork is not connected with his hips and his shoulders. And I feel like I have confidence, and I feel like that's something that's, coachable. And it's really up to him, because I feel like that game was more on Zach Wilson in terms of the offensive performance than it was the offensive play calling and it was the receivers. But I hold the entire offense as a whole accountable. It's not just Zach, but he definitely was a big reason why the offense cannot get going. Some positives out of that game, our rookie left guard, Elijah Vera-Tucker, was graded the best offensive lineman in all of football last week. So it's good to see Jets fans, we're the first round pick that we traded up to get, that left guard AVT, is, everything we expected from him. It's great to see that. And also our year 2 cornerback, Bryce Hall, is really establishing himself as a true starting cornerback in this league. And Jets fans are really ecstatic, because going into this year, the cornerback position was a big question mark. And Bryce Hall is establishing himself as definitely a top cornerback on this Jets team. And then you got to mention the extension of John Franklin Myers. I've been telling all my Jets subscribers, we need to extend John Franklin Myers this season before he hits the open market, because if he hits the open market, we're going to be bidding for him. He's going to get Carl Lawson type money. So we went out there, we extended him. He's a guy that strip sacked Tom Brady in the Super Bowl when he was with the LA Rams. We got him off the waiver wire 2 years ago. He's been getting better and better. Already has, I think, 3 sacks this season. He's a versatile player that can play inside and outside. He's part of the future for this defensive front. So all in all, that's really the recap of the Jets this week. The Falcons game was definitely disappointing. The defense, they exceeded everybody's expectations so far this year. They've been playing way better football than anybody expected with all the injuries. But this was definitely their worst performance. They could not get to Matt Ryan. They couldn't stop the run. And it was a disappointing effort from them. And the offense is just still – it's going to be a long time. I think the issue right now with the Jets is starting off slow. The first quarter has been terrible. We're getting outscored like 85-6 in the first quarter. If you're going to start off the game like that with a rookie quarterback and a young offense, you're just destined to lose games. You cannot be fighting from behind all game long.
Hey, real quick, Richie, how do you like your linebackers?
My linebackers, CJ Mosley is playing like an all-pro, and Quincy Williams, who is the older brother of Quinnen Williams, we got him off the waiver wire this year, actually. The Jacksonville Jaguars cut him. He's an awesome story. He is playing out of his mind right now for the New York Jets. He is starting right next to C.J. Mosley, and those two are thumpers. They're playing sideline to sideline. I think the linebacker unit has been very good, and Jets fans to see what C.J. Mosley's doing. He's the leader of that D. He's the quarterback of that D, and I love the linebacker unit.
Yeah, so Tyson need to stop trolling, man. Hey, but you know why? you know why I asked you that? Because when I was watching the game Sunday morning, I didn't know who you had at linebacker core. I had no clue what names, and I just noticed how after the football they were, how where they were always where they needed to be in many cases, at least in the run game and pursuit. Like those guys are up in that, and I'm like, man, I just need guys to fly to the ball like that for us. So I said, I'm gonna have to ask you about this linebacking core because they look really nice. They remind me of the Cowboys.
Yeah, just a fun fact about the Jets linebackers. Robert Saleh was a linebackers coach, so that's like his position. So he started off as a linebackers coach, then he went to a D coordinator, and then he's a head coach. So that's really his position that he develops the most.
Well, your team still sucks. I just had to give you props in the linebacker core.
I appreciate the props and something, TD.
All right, man. We're gonna go to the troll of the hour, man. New England Patriots, they squeeze one out. A comeback victory. Mac Jones' first little comeback. Got to give it to him. There was no way they were gonna win the game, but they found a way to get it done, and good teams do that. Talk to us, Master at Works.
Okay, listen, I'm going to say this right now. I've been saying this all week. People keep making the mistake of comparing this Patriots team to the ones that were winning Super Bowls. We are just like every other trash football team. So why are people talking about you barely beat Houston? We're not a good football team. Like, you got to stop putting us in the same category as the upper echelon teams. Like, so for people to say, oh, you barely beat Houston, we beat Houston. That's all that matters. Like, a dub is a dub. We were down 23-9. Everyone was laughing at us, besides people that were laughing at the Dolphins. Everyone was saying, oh, how you lose to Houston, how you lose to Davis Mills. And Mac Jones brought us back down 23-9 in the late in the third quarter. So at the end of the day, we were missing 4 of our 5 offensive linemen in this game, and they played outstanding. I was actually shocked. People keep talking about, oh, this team has offensive line issues. Miami has the offensive line issues. We were missing 4 of our starting offensive linemen. We were putting in players on the offensive line like Ted Karras, who was from the practice squad. And surprisingly, they held pretty damn good. Matthew Judon had a great game. The defense looked awful. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. They made Davis Mills look like the next coming of Peyton Manning for 3 quarters. I don't know what the hell was wrong with the defense. McCourty looked slow. Jimmy Collins came back. The one play he did make, he made a sack. Matthew Judon, Mr. AKA Red Sleeves, looked amazing. He's the best defensive player by far on this defense right now. I think they overlooked Houston, to be honest with you. I think they were so up, they were emotionally drained from the Tampa Bay game that they just didn't come out with their best. Mac Jones, he did what he did. He was efficient. He completed 70% of his passes again. He did have a horrible interception in that game, which I can't excuse, but like I said, he has less interceptions than Mahomes. So like I said, it was a good win. It was a must win. I said this last week. I said that if the Patriots lost last week, that I was going to get on here and declare the season over with, because you can't come back from being 1-4. It's not possible. And it's not realistic, because we got a tough game this week against the Cowboys, and then we got the Jets again. So another huge game. This is exactly like the Tampa game. Another game where you can completely change the trajectory of the season. Go into the Jets game at 500 and get over 500 and make a playoff push. And I will say this: if you look around the AFC right now, they're really outside of Buffalo. I can't put Baltimore in there because they're so wishy-washy. But Buffalo's the only consistent good team right now. They're the upper echelon. They are, to me right now, the favorites to get to the Super Bowl, especially the way Kansas City has looked. So as far as this division goes, I'm going to say it right here: Buffalo's going to win a division. And I actually don't care about the division. My mindset for this year is exactly what I've been trying to tell everyone. You got a rookie quarterback with a new team. Get to the playoffs. Get the 7th seed. That's all I care about. I don't care about the division. When you get into the dance, you can start to do a little jig. You know what I'm saying? Just get to the dance. That's all I'm asking this season. I'm not asking them to win a division. I'm not asking them to win a Super Bowl. I'm not asking them to win a playoff game. Just get to the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. And that's all I got to say, man. Like I said, Buffalo's the only pretty much the favorites. And if you look around the AFC, everyone's teetering between 2-3, 3-2, 1-4. Even there's a couple of 1-4 teams that can make a push depending on how their schedule shakes. There really isn't a favorite right now coming out the AFC outside of Buffalo.
No, my big board, I got Buffalo number 2 in the AFC. The Chargers are playing better football than Buffalo right now. And that ain't me hating. The Chargers have went toe-to-toe with every team without missing and have been.
I forgot the Chargers. You're right, TD.
They have been the best team. And the only reason Buffalo is at number 1 is just because of week 1. You know, but it was the first week, so I don't put much weight on Buffalo losing that game. But I have to give the Chargers the nod right now, and Buffalo's number 2 in the AFC. And you're right, after that, it's a toss-up, bro. It's definitely a toss-up. I mean, it's just everybody.
I will say this. I will say this. At least we're not 1-4.
All right, man. Let's move along.
TD, get that man out of here. Why is he clowning us?
Yeah, one thing I did want to address as well. I mean, I'm not by any means saying that the Bills are leaps and bounds better than the Chargers. I think it's close. I think the Chargers are playing great football right now, but there's really no argument right now that we are the best team in the AFC. Number 1, currently ranked. We're the number 1 scoring offense and the number 1 scoring defense. Now, some people can be like, Dan, outside of the Chiefs, who did you play? I can say the exact same thing about the Chargers minus that Browns game, which I thought was their biggest challenge of the season thus far.
That game was wild.
It was the best game on Sunday, hands down. But so, I mean, I would just have to say that I think the Bills have the slight edge at this point. I think we're the best in the AFC.
So who's had the hardest schedule between Buffalo and the Chargers? It's not even close, bro.
So I said that
they played the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Raiders, and the Browns.
Yeah, but the Chiefs ended up going on ahead and showing that they're nowhere near as good as they were in 2020. Their defense is statistically the worst ever.
But that's also a win for y'all. So cancel that out. They've already played the Cowboys, who
beat them. They're a good team, very good team.
But they played them. That's strength of schedule. You see who they lost to versus who y'all lost to. But then the Raiders, who were playing their best football at the time, and the Browns going toe-to-toe, and that Browns game was insane. But think about it. Who has Buffalo played?
We played the Chiefs. That's it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that.
So that's why I give them the edge. You see what I mean? And that'll start evening out. But that's the only reason. Huh?
Beating the Chiefs is a bigger deal.
They beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, but that's why I give the Chargers the edge, because they both played the Chiefs. But that's the only good team Buffalo has played.
Buffalo destroyed Kansas City, though.
But that's the only good team they played.
That's the only good team they got to beat. There's only a handful of teams that you got to beat to get to the Super Bowl. Kansas City is the defending AFC champions. And that's the team to beat or going into the season. You beat them. That's the team that Buffalo lost to. You beat the Chiefs. You're the favorites. End of story.
They beat the Chiefs, the Chargers.
But they beat the brakes. They took Mahomes' soul. The Chargers freaked one out. The Buffalo Bills literally put the Chiefs back 50 years.
Yeah, TD, I will also say.
Did you watch the game? I watched it. I made a video about it.
So I mean, I will also.
It's not about just because they both played the Chiefs and they beat them worse than the other. It's any given Sunday, depending on what the game up plan and the matchups are. Yes, they have to be. You saying that's the only team they got to beat? Don't they got to beat the Chargers too if they gonna get to the Super Bowl?
If they play the Chargers,
they versus the Chargers this year, Dan?
No, we do not.
No,
they do not play them this year. All right, so I mean, here's
we'll see in the playoffs.
Nail in the coffin. So I mean, this is going to put the nail in the coffin. This is also my last take on why I think that we are number 1. Right? We have been destroying teams. Like the point differential is disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. The Chargers, while they have also played their share of pretty weak teams, they are not winning them nearly as much of a massive gap in overall point differential as the Bills are putting out there. Like the Bills are beating the shit out of bad teams like they should. The Chargers, those games tend to be a bit closer. Just
bad teams, turnovers, all that stuff matters, man. We talk about offense here. Come on, man. Y'all need to stop that. That's like the Chargers playing. See, y'all would keep the same energy if the Chargers played all 5 of the greatest teams in the NFL right now with 4-1. But since the Buffalo is blowing everybody out, then it's different. I already told you, Dan, because we're about to get to you anyway. You beat the Titans, then you're legit. I told you this last week.
Beat the Titans, Dan. I told you this last week.
I told you this last week. Did I not tell you, Dan, that y'all will beat the Chiefs, but you're not going to beat the Titans? Did I not tell you that?
Yes, you did. He did say that.
And that's your real test, because that defense is going to be stressed trying to stop the run. And you got a quarterback who, if you're focusing on that, can make those pinpoint passes. And it's just a matter of the point differential. Their defense actually is getting better, which is shocking to me. Their defense, have always been their Achilles heel, and they're getting better. So you beat them next week. Nobody, you're the number one in the AFC. That's the gauge that I've told you since last week. So we'll see how that goes. But tell us about your game this week, and go into next week's matchup so that we can round the table with that.
And Dan, if you needed advice of how to beat the Titans,
Edie, did you talk about the Dolphins yet?
Yeah, your Whack Jones internet didn't allow you to be present.
Beautiful.
I'm asking, did you talk about Miami?
We already did, but we'll get back to it for you.
Yeah. All right. So this past Sunday night, I was actually telling TD this right before we went live. I wanted that game more than anything on the face of the planet. And as many of you know, back in 2020, the Chiefs had our number. You know, they had a mid-ranked defense, and for some reason, they just shut us down each and every single time. Not the case this past Sunday. Going into the game, I was, fully anticipating a very close game. I thought my anxiety was going to be through the roof, pacing back and forth. But for the most part, I was pretty relaxed, especially once we ended up getting over that hour and 15-minute halftime, which is ridiculous as a side point. But, I mean, the Buffalo Bills went out there and they absolutely dominated on both sides of the ball. The defense was very impressive on my end. We were getting pressure on Mahomes. Our rookie, Gregory Rousseau, was cutting down the edge so good it prevented Mahomes from rolling out right as often as he typically does, forcing him to stay in the pocket. We were dropping 8 into coverage, sometimes using Jerry Hughes as a spy and just rushing 3. It was a perfect game plan against that specific offense. And as far as Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, we were able to sort of slow the bleeding with those two playmakers, even with Matt Milano out. The defense was absolutely reeling. I was very impressed on that side of the ball. And then Josh Allen, right? I mean, one thing I love putting out there is one of the biggest sort of arguments was, oh, Dan, well, the only reason Josh Allen is good is because of Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs has not had a crazy game so far this year. There's been several games where he's finished below 50 yards in receiving, 60, 70 for the most part. He's really gaining a lot of chemistry with some of our other weapons like Emmanuel Sanders and Dawson Knox. Dude couldn't catch a ball to save his life last year. The guy has improved tremendously. Looks like I'm glad that we didn't end up trading for Zach Ertz during the offseason. But, I mean, it was just amazing. I mean, I know that the Chiefs secondary, I've seen better, varsity high school secondaries than what the Chiefs have been putting on the field recently. But overall, I would say the most satisfying win I have experienced as a Bills fan since I would say the Baltimore playoff game of last year. Let's put it that way. Now we have the Titans, right? Monday at 8:30, as long as the entire team doesn't catch COVID, and we need to reschedule our game to like Wednesday at 3 a.m. or some shit like that, like last year. But Monday night matchup should be interesting. I heard that Julio Jones is back at practice. He's still questionable to start. I'm almost willing to guarantee that he's going to start. He has one extra day of rest. And with the struggle that A.J. Brown has been putting out on that field, I highly anticipate that we're going to be seeing Julio Jones. Always need to worry about Derrick Henry. I mean, especially if that man is in the end zone, is in the red zone rather, and end zone, I suppose. But looking back at his stats last year, as far as from a yard perspective, he didn't really burn us that bad. But when he's in the red zone, he just scored, right? And I mean, with a running back of that stature, you just hand the ball off to him 3 times in the red zone, and he's going to be in there. So we definitely need to have a game plan for Derrick Henry, obviously. I would love to see a similar game plan that we put into the Kansas City Chiefs with dropping so many people into passing lanes. I thought that was pretty effective, especially if he's working off of an injured or a guy that just got off of injury in Julio Jones and very limited passing options out there. I think that would be amazing. And as far as the offense is concerned, once again, pick on that outside secondary, specifically those cornerbacks. They're the weakest part of that unit. Same thing with the linebackers. So I definitely anticipate this being a game where Josh Allen throws for over 300.
You keep saying Julio Jones just coming back from injury. hopefully not being much of a factor. Didn't AJ Brown just come back from injury?
Yeah, he did. But overall, this season, he hasn't been looking like himself. So I'm not sure whether or not that maybe the scheme was switched up a little bit once Julio Jones came into town, and it's not complementing his talents. I mean, he's definitely someone to worry about. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be a non-factor. I mean, he's a great receiver. He can turn it on, but I just hope he doesn't turn it on until next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you now, this is going to be an interesting game. One that I'm definitely interested in. And the reason why is because I just want to see how it's going to be, because I know you all are saying, Derrick Henry. But I think they're going to utilize more of their passing attack, because if you all bail out in a base defense, I just don't see you all having a shot. Because last year, didn't they play without 8 starters?
Who, the Titans?
Yeah, because of COVID, they were missing 8 starters between the O-line and defense.
Yep.
And they blew y'all out, right?
Yeah, it was like 42-16.
Yeah, so I just see that this team can pound and wear Buffalo's front down, and I think that's going to be a major focus, and it's going to leave some opportunities for some of that over-the-top stuff. I'm just very interested to see how you all and your defense handles that, because that's why I say that's the test. If you all overcome that test, then you prepared yourself to go the distance, and that's my true assessment of it, because different teams have different skill sets. Mahomes is all improvisation. And like you said, Rousseau keeping him in the pocket more, basically trying to force him to stay in the pocket to make plays, which I have always said, if you keep guys like him in the pocket and not put enough, and if you don't put enough pressure on them, you're just, you're letting them eat all day, but you have to change that. But it's the same thing that I feel with Josh Allen too. For some reason, everybody's respecting him a little too much, to where they rush 4, and you saw it in the game. They'd rush 4, but 2 of the guys actually not rushing. They just spying like they're rushing, but only 2 guys are really rushing. And you give anybody 6, 7, 8, time to throw the ball, they're going to pick you apart. And it's just absolutely bogus to me. But every year you get a real team that you run into that gives you Josh Allen's biggest weakness: send the blitz, man-to-man bump and run together. He's great against the blitz when you got cushion or it's his own. He's great against man-to-man when you're not sending pressure. But the combination of sending the pressure, man-to-man bump and run, requiring him to get that ball out of his hands right away, is a disaster, and it always has been for him. But lucky him, he only get that look twice a year.
See, part of the reason why defenses are playing us like that as well is because Buffalo finally has a decent run game. Last year, defenses knew exactly what we were doing. Practically 90% of the time, we were passing the ball. I think the fact that Zach Moss and Singletary have actually started being, I would say, trying to put out at least a quality product on the field, that's why we're seeing those coverages.
And I will say this: if that's the case, then this year you might actually go to the Super Bowl just to lose against Tampa Bay.
Oh, God.
No, I'm just saying the front 7, they can hold their own without the extra help. That's what I'm saying. They do the same thing: send pressure, man-to-man, bump and run, but the front 7 hold their own in a run game. The best run game in the NFL, run defense. And that's why I say that type of team build, Buffalo can't win in that. The Chiefs can't win against that. All these mobile quarterbacks that have these rockets that do all the extra stuff with their legs, when it comes down to the gritty, best football against best football, they don't have a chance. They got to win their battles one-on-one in the trenches and not rely on the improvisation of their quarterback in those tight games like that. And that's where it matters. Whose front is better? So, like I said, Buffalo has continued to make huge strides. They continue to get better and better. And I'm shocked because the defense got better. I'm just like, defense still suck. It don't matter. But they've showed improvement. And at the end of the day, the 2 tests for me is Tennessee. And you all don't play the Bucs this year, do you?
We do.
Well, when y'all play the Bucs?
December 11th.
Well, you got your 2 tests that'll tell you going into the playoffs whether this team is ready or not. At least you get to know that before you going into the playoffs, which is pretty good for y'all, especially starting out like this, man. Buffalo's looking hot. They're looking on point. Josh Allen even started the season rough, in my opinion, but it's a thing of the past, man. And I got to give it to Buffalo. They are playing Super Bowl caliber football, at least contention wise, you know. And I'm just gonna be honest. I ain't gonna hate on them. I always say Josh Allen is a bum. Josh Allen is a really great quarterback. He's oh my gosh, I'm feeling nauseous. Josh Allen is, I mean, y'all get the point. But they're putting it together. I'm just waiting on that salary to kick in and see how
here we go.
I'm just saying, you know, I'm waiting on the salary to kick in so everybody can come down off their high horse and get back to you know, the way the real world works. And Mahomes will show. Mahomes already failing and he's not even counting against the cap. So imagine next year when he go from a 7 million. You know, Patrick Mahomes has a cap hit this year of freaking $7.4 million. And next year he jump up to almost 40. Oh, they're gonna learn the hard way, baby. But listen, man, Buffalo leading the division. They're, in my opinion, number 2 in the AFC. And after this week, they could leapfrog into number 1 based off of the way that I, you know, gauge things. Well, you know, Chargers play Baltimore as well. I think Baltimore about to get toasted. But all in all,
the ascendance of Josh Allen is, to Jets fans, the worst. Like, we cannot sit with that well, simply because of the whole Sam Darnold versus Josh Allen debate that was intact for the year
draft.
1 and 2. Yeah, they got drafted together. They were best friends off the field. They trained together. I went to college upstate New York, so I was surrounded by Bills Mafia at that time, and I was defending my guy Sam no matter what. And, you know, fast forward and look at the reality, and we just look like, you know, a crappy organization, not knowing how to, you know. But
well, it's worse for us, Richie. Y'all didn't know that it was a bad comparison until after 2 years.
I know. It was just a terrible situation because to this day, the takes that I had back then, like, if you guys heard them, like, you know, every Jets fan, and I can admit I was totally wrong on Josh Allen, and it sucks, but it's the truth, and we're gonna have to deal with him for quite some time, man.
And so everyone was wrong about Josh Allen, man.
I'm not. You'll see.
And everyone will be wrong about Zach Wilson.
Let me tell you my favorite line. Josh Allen is good enough to not be good enough.
Oh, my God.
He gonna win all the regular season games, make a little splash in the playoffs, and always look like the worst player on the team in the game that you lose.
There he is.
So he's the next Jim Kelly.
Yeah, every game y'all lose in the playoffs, he plays his worst football of the season. And y'all be like, every game you lose in the playoffs, it's his worst game.
There's been two circumstances.
And they were his worst games. You're cherry
picking now.
No, am I lying? Remember whenever y'all played against Houston? Oh my gosh, that bum looked like a.
All right.
And then after Houston, who was it? Who was it after Houston?
All right, dude.
It was Baltimore. And then who was it? A matter of fact, it's been 3 times y'all been to the playoffs with him, right? Or am I tripping?
So let me tell you what, dude. I think TD has higher expectations for Josh Allen than Josh Allen's own parents do. Like,
hold on, Dan Mitchell.
He will only eat crow when Josh throws for like 350, 400, and like 6 touchdowns. Like, which happens.
Dan Mitchell,
but not every game. Come on,
Dan Mitchell. If Josh Allen takes you to an AFC championship every year for 10 years straight, and he has his worst game of the season, and you lose the AFC championship for 10 years straight, is that okay? Is that okay with you?
Not even Tom Brady did that with the Patriots. 10 years, that's going too far.
But I'm saying, he 3 years in and did it every time?
I'll take that. How do I sign up for that, TD? How do I sign up for that?
This man is 3 for 3 doing it. Josh Allen is 3 for 3, and he's the worst player on the field. And then when he getting blown out and he get his little padded stats at the end, well, Josh Allen can't do everything. He at least had 300 yards. He got 150 of them in the fourth quarter when it didn't matter. Like every time, and they don't see it. And I'm gonna tell y'all, Buffalo Bills fans, once again, the man cannot handle blitzes when man-to-man bump and run simultaneously. You're lucky every team in the NFL don't have the personnel to do it. But, you know, teams will catch up, man. We'll see him looking like, I'm talking trash about him now because I can't stand that bum. You look good, though. But whatever. But listen, man, anybody else got any thoughts on Dan's game? that they just played or that they will be playing versus the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, I mean, I got the blueprint on how to beat the Tennessee Titans, Dan. So,
Oh my God! Well,
like,
yeah, hurt their
you
two
need to know.
receivers.
all you
Hurt the
need to
two
know
receivers.
is how to beat them. Is call my line, Dan. Call my line.
Yeah, I will, dude.
Like,
So I'll bring
seriously,
you on
man.
as a special guest in my Monday night live stream.
Food
got
poison, food poison both the receivers. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost.
All right, man. Richie, man, who you got? Oh yeah, y'all on the bye, right, Richie?
Yeah, sitting back,
Oh,
feet up, no stress.
So y'all gonna get a W. Okay.
Oh yes, sir.
All right.
We come in next week on a hot note while all three of you guys will be pissed after a loss. I'll be
Hey, but the Patriots have to play who? Dallas Cowboys. What you think, man?
The Dallas Cowboys have never beaten Bill Belichick, ever.
Okay. So
Ever.
what do you think?
It's not going to happen. The Cowboys are fool's gold. They're frauds.
So y'all gonna beat them?
The reason, listen, that game was tied against the Giants until Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley went down, and then they started to run up the score. But I'm not afraid of the Cowboys. The games in games in Foxborough, we never lose against the Cowboys ever under Belichick. Not impressed by the Cowboys. Not impressed with Dak Prescott. Their defense is suspect. I'm expecting a win. Close win, but I'm expecting a win. Like I said, this is one of those. This is just like the Tampa game. No one's going to expect us to win this game. No one's going to give us a chance. We're underdogs in this game. We are 0-3 at home too. So we're eventually going to win a home game this year. If we win this game, our entire season changes because, like I said, we would have gotten a victory against a quality team who's probably maybe the third best team in the NFC behind the Bucks and the Cardinals. And like I said, we'll be 3-3. Then we play the Jets. And looking at our schedule, this is another game, a game that can completely change the trajectory of our season. So I'm expecting a win.
Confident.
Anything less, it's a disappointment.
You sound very confident. So confident, you make me want to bet on the Patriots.
I mean, if we were 1-4, I wouldn't feel confident. But I think that win against Houston was pretty big for our season.
Y'all got to put a yes or no in the comments.
I think we're heading in the right direction.
Y'all got to put a yes or no in the comment section. Does the Patriots beat the Dallas Cowboys? Yes or no in the comment section. And hit that like button while you're at it. We got 500 people watching, but only 179 likes.
Smash that like button.
Likes, man. Punch that like button. Huh?
And so I said that's a problem.
They coming up short like Josh Allen, man.
Oh my God. Come on.
Anywho, man, listen.
You know what I love about this comment section since I've been in here? I haven't seen one fin emoji. I wonder why that is. Because usually you guys spam it with fin emojis, and now you're gonna probably spam it just because I said something about it. But that just shows you your fan base is starting to dwindle.
Ain't nobody dwindling,
I'm
man.
seeing the same typey trolls in the comment section no more.
Dolphins fans, listen, if you want to learn what it's like to be down here in the basement, come to my channel. Been down here for a while now. We're all welcome.
They know what it's like, Richie.
We're going to put it right under your chin.
They've been in the basement for 2 decades. They know exactly what it's like.
We're going to put it right under you.
False hope.
We're going to put it right under you. Ain't no false hope, Richie. I know what. You know what,
So
Richie?
can we talk about the Dolphins? Because I want to talk about the Dolphins.
Richie, all this talking
it's your channel, TD. I haven't heard you say one word about Miami.
Because
Come on, man.
Because your Whack Jones internet missed that segment. Okay?
It don't matter. Listen, did you already discuss the game?
Yes, we talked about it, man.
Well, I didn't give my take. I need to give my take.
Man, go ahead, man.
What are we? 43 minutes. Give me 3 minutes. So I watched the full game because I gotta watch the Dolphins games. I gotta watch every one of them. And your defense gave up 5 touchdowns to Tom Brady. Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, who I was under the impression that those were 2 top corners. Xavier Howard has gotten fat since he's got that fat paycheck. Where was Xavier Howard? He got exposed by Mike Evans, who's on my fantasy team, by the way. You're 1-4. 1-4. You haven't won a game since you won your Super Bowl in week 1. You lost to a Colts team that ain't won a game all season long. The only win they got is against you guys. We knew you were going to lose against Tampa Bay, but the way you lost, and let me just get to this point because I know you guys are going to talk about Tua's coming back this week. There's a little I don't know, family matters happening in Miami. I heard that too. His trainer has been mouthing off against your head coach. And now there's rumblings about Brian Flores may not be the one. What's going on there? Have you talked about the Tua and the beef with Flores? Because what I heard was he wanted Justin Herbert. He didn't want Tua. Oh, I heard everything. I know this Dolphins fan named Reason. You probably know who he is. Oh, I get all the little low down dirty details from my boy Reason. I swear I'm gonna put together like a little sitcom for you Dolphins fans, because you guys like to conjure up and sit together and wallow in each other's misery. Man, there's a lot of little dirty little secrets down in Miami. Like I said, you're 1-4, your season is over with. You're gonna lose against Jacksonville. When you lose against Jacksonville and Tua comes back, well then I don't know what you're gonna do. Oh, that's right, you don't even have a draft pick, because the draft pick that you have is with Philly. You got to rely on the 49ers to be bad this season, who already has 2 wins. So you don't even have the draft to look forward to. And by the way, if you're looking about Deshaun Watson, Philadelphia has 2 picks in the top 10 right now. Do you really believe that Houston's going to want those 2023 draft picks for Deshaun Watson, or are they going to want 2 draft picks in the top 10 for this upcoming draft? So you're stuck with Tua. That's all I got to say.
Jets have 2 top 10 picks as well. Sorry, I had to say that.
Stay tuned, bro. You're so misinformed. All right. But listen, can you read the screen for us, Tyson?
But that's the thing. That's the problem with Dolphins fans.
I don't want to.
Let me ask you a question, TD. Would you rather be 4-1 with 1 loss against the Patriots, or would you rather be 1-4 with your 1 win against New England?
No. All I'm gonna say is the one who
exactly, that's what it is. Ever since the 2 decades, you guys beat us. Miami Miracle, the football game in the orange jerseys. But where does that get you as a franchise in beating us? And beating us is no good feat anymore, because we're not the same Patriots. So beating the Patriots is not a badge of honor anymore.
Anyone who hasn't beat us has nothing to say about us. Okay.
I can say whatever I want. You guys are in the basement.
You stay humble as we put that smack down on you and your team and Bill Belichick, as we always do. Stay humble to the team that
you split with us every year. We put the smack down on you all the time too.
This is gonna be the first year we don't split. How about that? Because you're not winning the next one, okay?
No, because you're gonna try to tank.
Oh Lord, why would we tank it for the draft?
Oh, that's right. You can't tank for a draft pick.
All right, all right. So, like I said, man, the Dolphins are about to go across the pond. We're about to get the W. Tua is about to get the fan base energized again, and we're about to go on a run. And it's that simple.
Going across the pond is not fun, TD. I thought it was fun.
I know it's not. Oh yeah, you actually went over there, right?
Yeah. No, not literally.
Oh, okay. But man, listen. We're about to go over there, take care of business, come back, take care of business again. Then we got Buffalo again, and we're gonna show them what time it is. As y'all will see, man. Listen, the Dolphins are gonna be fine. Y'all can talk all this all you want, but man, that works, bro. You're not beating the Cowboys this weekend, and on top of that, in 2 weeks you'll be under us. Just admit it. Your team sucks just as bad as we do right now. All right. But anyway, man, I gotta ask y'all this because time is running down. I want to do something new tonight. I want to ask y'all 2 questions and give me a meter. Okay.
Ooh.
One is your Super Bowl meter and one is your playoff meter. Okay. Super Bowl 1 to 10, 10 being we're going. I'm not asking about winning it, going. And the other meter is playoffs alone. Where would you put your team? All right. So we'll start out with myself, I guess, at the bottom. The Miami Dolphins' chances of making the playoffs. I have our meter right now at a 4.5. If I'm gonna add a point, because we needed to win one of the 2 games that we lost, either the Colts or the Raiders, and now we have to beat one of these teams to get back on track, which is either the Buffalo Bills, the Tennessee Titans, or the Baltimore Ravens. One of those wins, and we're back on track. But everybody else, we could definitely win those games, but we got to show up and actually play good football like we know we can. Super Bowl meter, we are a flat out 1 right now, because I mean we worried about playoffs to begin with, And second off, even if we get into the playoffs, the way that the other teams that'll be in the playoffs are set up right now, not unless we get all pro level play from Tua, it's not going to matter anyway, because this team isn't going to carry us over the top. All right. So that's the Miami Dolphins meter that I give. 4.5 for playoffs, 1 for a Super Bowl as of right now. And I guess I'll check back in 4 weeks to see if that's changed for all of us. But Richie, give me your take.
Is this from 1 to 10 or 0 to 10?
1 to 10.
1
Because
to
there's
10.
always a chance. Well, you can use 0 for the Jets. It's more relevant.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So playoffs, I would
Shots.
say playoffs 1.5. Nah, 2. We're giving it 2. The only reason why I give it 2 is because the schedule does lighten up for us. The only chance we had, I think, to make the playoffs is if we beat the Falcons and going into the bye 2-3, because, you know, the schedule is not easy, but it does lighten up at some time. But, you know, the playoffs was never in the mindset of Jets fans going into the year. It was kind of one of those things like, oh my God, what if everything clicks with the first-year head coach? Because for whatever reason, whenever there's a first-year head coach with the Jets, they always come close to the playoffs, even if that coach is not here long-term. You know, Rex Ryan, Todd Bowles was 10-6. Adam Gase, different story. But I would say 2 for the playoffs. And then Super Bowl has to be, 1. The Jets are not going to the Super Bowl. But hey, this was never the year for that stuff. So I'm sitting here with a smile on my face. This is probably what I expected going into the season. So it's going to be a long one and an exciting one for Jets fans. Even though Jets fans are like, want to rip everything apart all over again. I'm like, yo, like, what did you expect? But we're not going to get into that.
All right, Tyson, what's your thoughts?
The question is from a scale of 1 to 10,
Playoffs.
is my team going to make a Super Bowl?
Yeah, playoffs and Super Bowl.
Oh, playoffs. Playoffs is an 8. And Super Bowl is a the reason I'm gonna put it at a 3 and not a 1 is because I believe I have a conspiracy that the NFL wants Belichick to play Brady in the Super Bowl. So that's the only reason I'm gonna put it at a 3.
Okay. I guess we'll take that. Dan Mitchell, both of the same questions. Your scale has changed from a 1 to a 2, though. So go ahead. Tell us what your thoughts.
All right, man. Playoffs 10. There's no question in my mind.
Delusional. Absolutely delusional, Dan.
Exactly. Thank you, Richie.
10. Not unless I'm saying everyone on our team gets injured and we're having open field tryouts on Tuesday and I'm starting at wide receiver by week 6. Okay, we're making the playoffs. It's a 10. There's no question about it. Make it to the Super Bowl. I know Bills fans want me to say a 10, but I'm saying a 9. Still up there. I honestly don't feel like in the regular season there's a team in the AFC that could beat us right now. I think that we are the best team in the AFC.
You didn't verse the Jets yet, bro.
Yeah, but you just said a key word, regular season. You got to go through at least 2 teams to get to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. This is my second take why I'm putting it at a 9. The playoffs are an entire different story. And the playoffs are an entire different season. It's just played different. Crazy things happen in the playoffs. So that's why I'm saying 9. But I would say that I feel the best that I've ever felt about me genuinely saying that the Bills are going to the Super Bowl this year.
So hold on. I gotta take it a step further with you, then, Dan. If you feel that confident, then scale it. Then 1 to 10, winning the Super Bowl.
Winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Shit's. All right.
I dare you.
This is what I'll say. This is what I'll say.
Say anything over
This is what I'll say, TD. This is what I'll say. If the Bills make the Super Bowl, the Bills are winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, clip that.
If we make it, we are going
because that's such a given.
Oh my God. History alone tell you should have said -4.
That's some confidence right there.
Oh my gosh, man.
That's how confident I am in my team, man. I'd be nervous.
I had to ask.
Dude, I'd be more nervous to play the Cowboys in the Super Bowl than the Bucks. Slash the Rams.
What?
Slash the Rams. I would say out of those 3 teams in the NFC,
you're not scared of the Cardinals?
Bucks would be the one team that I'd rather play over the Rams and the.
You're not scared of Arizona, then? The only undefeated team.
Oh, I forgot about Arizona. Yeah. That would be a good Super Bowl too. But
I also feel like we're sleeping on Baltimore in the AFC, in my opinion.
Ah, them bums, man. Listen, I think the Chargers are playing phenomenal freaking football, though, man. Are y'all not watching what they over there doing?
I'm not
no,
saying they're
good.
better than them. I'm just saying people are sleeping on them still.
I think this playoffs is going to be amazing, man.
Why can't I be part of that?
I know you get to watch it from your couch like usual.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll be in the first round playing against Buffalo, smoking them. So I'm all for it. Let's go, baby. All right, man. Listen, y'all. We got 580 people watching. We only got 255 likes tonight. Y'all need to hit that like button and stop that mess, man. Punch that like button. Let people know about the Wednesday nights. Next week, it's on Richie's channel, but we might move the day. We're gonna discuss that.
No, it's on Matt's channel.
It's on my channel.
Oh, well, next week, it's on the Master at Works channel after they take a L. So everybody needs to be in attendance so we control them respectively. But yeah, so we'll enjoy that. We'll talk through all the other stuff we talked about, Richie. But yes, man, this is the AFC East roundtable. Guys, I got one more question.
Wait, we didn't talk about Jon Gruden?
I was just finna bring that up. I said, guys, I got one more question for y'all as a going out question. All of us give our take. Jon Gruden situation. I guess we'll start with Master at Works.
Oh my God. I'm not gonna say what I have because this is a family-friendly channel, but let's just be honest here.
Appreciate it.
Is anybody really stunned by this? And I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna say it right now.
Yeah.
People have to separate their fandom of their team from these people, from your quarterback, your players, your coaches, your owners' personal lives. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, all of us here, Dolphins, Bills, Jets, especially the Patriots, all have skeletons when it comes to these emails. 650,000 of them. Okay. And the NFL is going to do everything they can to cover it up. Because if these emails ever leaked, then I think everybody's in trouble. And I do mean everybody. The old Woody Johnson most definitely is in trouble. And I don't think Richie would have too much of a quarrel if he sold the team.
Love that.
But like I said, is anybody really shocked? Listen, the funny part is that this was all from an FBI investigation on the Washington football team with Bruce Allen and Dan Snyder. And Dan Snyder is the biggest gangster in the NFL. This man has done everything, refusing to change his team's name, pimping out his cheerleaders, exchanging nude photos, all types of this disgusting stuff, like to his fan base, and he's still getting off scot-free. It just was broken, I think, an hour ago that the NFLPA, well, they're investigating it, but they look like they're not going to leak any more emails. Like Jon Gruden's the scapegoat. That's all I got to say about the situation. But like I said, I'm not stunned at all.
Richie, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I mean, this came out of like nowhere. It was pretty crazy. But after you see what actually came out of it and what was written and what was said in the 7-year span, I mean, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I mean, when they were playing on Sunday, I was just thinking of the Raiders players, like the whole locker room, like what's going on in their heads, like what's going on in that, on the sideline right now. Like, I don't know. It was just a weird feeling. And then you find out that, it came, even more stuff came out Monday. And then it was just a question for me, in my opinion, whether he was going to get fired or resign, because in today's day and age and what the NFL is trying to, change in this world, Jon Gruden was, advocating the opposite of that type of stuff. So it was just
the NFL's involved too, but
yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was a very sticky situation, and I don't know. I just feel like the timing of it was really strange, and I kind of feel for Raiders Nation because as a fan of myself, like going 3-0 and then starting off the season hot, and then having the season just this happens, I feel for the fan base.
Well, my take is I don't feel for the fan base. I don't feel for Raiders Nation. I'm actually mad at them because I wish it would have came out and got exposed before we played them. It would have been a better chance for us to beat them. It's that simple. it is what it is. You do things in life, you face the consequences, you go down that path at the end of the day. But I am the type of person that do believe in forgiveness, just like our coach said today in his response to Jon Gruden, that he believes in forgiveness. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. He's paying the price for whatever, all the things that happen. But at the end of the day, hey, Jon Gruden, learn from it, move on. I don't have a strike on you from me where I have a problem with you, because he who without sin casts the first stone. At the end of the day, I hold my rocks. All right, for myself. Dan, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably just gonna have to agree with Tyson over here, saying that I think that there's no way that anybody would, that when the news dropped, that they would have been like, oh, Gruden? No way. I mean, I did see something pretty funny in there. They were like, I guarantee you Urban Meyer was the one that leaked those emails just to get the heat off of that guy, because he's grinding on college girls in in the streets. You know what I mean? He was probably thrilled that shit came out.
Legal.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I think that the way that it was handled was definitely appropriate. Obviously, it's definitely odd. There's definitely no place in the league for that type of behavior. But like Tyson says, I have a feeling that there's a lot of dirt that came from that investigation.
Yeah, steroids with Josh Allen.
I just want to say something. I have to say this.
Mm-hmm.
There's 32 owners in the National Football League. Only one of them is a minority, okay? And that's Shad Khan in Jacksonville. When you have the upper echelon of NFL owners, the way they talk to each other, that's why I said earlier on, don't be shocked if anything were to ever leak of the 650,000 emails, that all of our owners would have said something as nasty as Gruden said, and maybe not that way, but they're all in the good boys club. There needs to be more. There needs to be more minorities at the top of the food chain in the NFL, coaching ladder, ownership, all that stuff. And I gotta say one more thing. This has nothing to do with cancel culture. Okay, you work for $1 billion company, and your employees are 70% African American. You cannot have that type of stuff, racism, and not only that, your player, the first gay player, is on your team. Your franchise, who you work for, Al Davis, who was a beacon of hiring minorities. He had the first Latino head coach to win a Super Bowl. He hired Art Shell, the first African American coach that in the NFL, the first female assistant. Like the Raiders and Al Davis, their mantra is to include people to boost minorities. You can't have a coach say this type of stuff in that type of organization. It's just it doesn't work like that. So for people to say this is cancel culture, how about be a decent human being and not say shit like that behind people's backs in an email chain with other owners and GMs like Bruce Allen and Dan Snyder, who needs to be kicked out the league. That's all I got to say on that matter. So people saying, oh, it's cancel culture. No, it's not. You can't work for $1 billion organization getting paid $100 million in 10 years and shit on the very people that you coach and employ. Like it doesn't work.
Boy, boy.
That's just my opinion, by the way.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jon Gruden, no longer coaching in the NFL, probably won't coach again in the NFL unless somebody gives him a chance because they don't care about what the perception or anything like that, which I wouldn't be surprised in 2 to 3 years if something like that happened. But time will tell. At the end of the day, man, everybody else, man, let's stay one. Let's make sure that we recognize that we're all human beings. We're all people. We love each other no matter what, unless your name is Josh Allen. Peace. We are out.
Bills.
Peace.